did you hear about Chiropractic Company?
Online. Searching online on Indeed.com, Chiropractic Company popped up, and then a week later I ran into somebody that had a Chiropractic Company shirt on at a random restaurant, and then I looked them up, and that's how I found out.
What made you choose Chiropractic Company?
They were in the process of acquiring a practice in a community my wife and I were interested in opening up in, so it worked out really well. So it just was like a good fit.
What is your favorite part about working at Chiropractic Company?
The group of doctors together. It's nice to have that support in the medical field for difficult cases. Navigating the insurance field is a nightmare. Having that back support is really great.
How has working here impacted your life overall?
Overall, having a steady routine of just day to day, week to week. Steady income, benefits are great. That's all I know for that moment.
Can you speak to the support systems in place and which is most beneficial for you?
Yeah, so each clinic has their own, what they call an agent coordinator, and that's essentially someone that works in the back end of the insurance department that specifically works with your clinic or a couple clinics, and they're the one that you have direct access to for insurance questions. That has made it so much easier to practice. I can focus on the patients. I don't get bogged down with hours and hours of paperwork, but there are still notes to do. However, it makes it much more enjoyable as a practitioner. Just do what you want to do. So that's really helpful.
What was the most surprising change coming from school to practicing in an office?
It's easier than school. So school is a lot harder for me. Real world practice is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So it's very enjoyable. It's very gratifying to have patients come in pain and leave out of pain and be super grateful. And they'll bring their families in, they'll bring in all sorts of things in addition to the care they're paying for. That's been a huge surprise.
What has been the most challenging aspect of your career so far?
Most challenging aspect would be the really the neurologically based cases. So the really difficult migraines or post-concussion symptoms, those have been the toughest to work with because they're very difficult to help, and they're often younger patients, and that's very difficult.
What has been your focus or area of expertise when it comes to chiropractic care, and how does your current patient base support that focus?
Yeah, so more recently, working with more elderly geriatric patients. I didn't do a lot of that when I first started out of school. Now it's mostly what I do, and it's very enjoyable. They're very easy to work with the tables that we have, and they get really excellent clinical results. So that's been an area that I've focused more in, and I've just really enjoyed that, and you can definitely see that in my patient base and the community that I'm in especially.
How has your skill set evolved since joining Chiropractic Company?
So I graduated from Life University in Atlanta, which is very spine manipulation or subluxation based, which is the primary thing that we're working on. Didn't learn a lot of soft tissue or additional therapies, and so that's kind of how my skill set has evolved over the last few years, is learning how to add therapies to further benefit the patient.
What advice would you give to students getting ready to graduate from chiropractic school?
Don't be so naive. Be skeptical of everything, okay, especially when it comes to new jobs. That would be the first thing, is be skeptical of everything.
In what way?
Working for somebody, working on your own is much more challenging than the speakers at the schools bring in and make it sound right. They bring in all the home run hitters as far as practice, and so they make it sound like it's doable for everybody. It's not doable for everybody. In fact, it's not doable for most. You need to work for somebody right out of school for at least a couple years to learn how to treat patients appropriately. You don't get enough in school to really be effective. If you do it on your own and you're going to fake it, the whole fake it till you make it is a really bad thing to fall into, because you're going to hurt people. So work for somebody, learn the skills, the insurance, whatever area, if you're going to do insurance, that would be the first thing.
What do you love most about the community you work directly in?
Small, tight-knit community, close to the city, in the country at the same time. a lot of great people.
If there's one thing you think people should know about Chiropractic Company from a doctor's perspective, what would that be?
They're completely transparent in how they're going to pay you, where you're going to go in your future, where you stand, where you're going to start at. That's very, very helpful, because a lot of the other chiropractic places I work for, they're not very transparent, and there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on. So Chiropractic Company is very, very transparent. That any shady business, they follow the rules to the T. And that's really what you should know.